Subscribe to our channel, press the bell icon and never miss an update from Latestly.
पहले की ये अटपटी चीजें होते हैं, आप जो भी प्रोजेक्ट करते हो छटके हो बहुत सारे मजे, लेकिन अरसों पहले आपने किया था सिमी गरेवाल का था सिमी
जी।
गरेवाल। अब लोगों के जहन में ये चलता है कौन बनेगा करोड़पति, ये हो गया कौन बनेगी शिखरवती। तो व्हाट इज वी सी यू विद ट्विस्ट आनी है
यार ब्रदर, वो तो मुझे पता नहीं, दैट्स प्योरली बाय चांस. ऑफ कोर्स years ago the spoof that we did very knowingly, and we never, as well as it's been over what, मतलब 14 साल हो गया, and even today I get people who either send me a link from it or a picture about it or ask me, are we ever going to do it again? In this case तो yeah, I think more than बनेगा करोड़पति, शिखरवती की लगा था कि क्या ये एक सटायर है से स्क्विड गेम्स पे या ऐसा कुछ, which is so freak bro. That is honestly one of the strangest things that's happened to me in my working career. जहाँ पे we shot the show a year and a half ago during the first lockdown. Squid Games तो मतलब 3 महीने पहले रिलीज हुई है. But by chance, the writers had not only written a script where you have to play games and win, but even the costume looks similar. And it's purely coincidental. तो वो मैं I keep telling people कि यार हो ही नहीं सकता कि हम 3 महीने में शो भी लिख लें, शूट भी कर लें, एडिट भी हो गया, रिलीज भी हो गया. So that is what's happened in this case right now, brother.
But what has gotten into this whole radio jockey kind of avatar? Generally, I put those big microphones, the big earphones, and microphone right before me. But yeah,
for me, unlike and so for me, it's I do a lot of live events from home. And therefore, I have this little setup, and that means if I can hear you clearly, it's better. I have a little microphone over here, and I seem more like a podcaster than anything else. And also, we do a live stream. At least for a while, we were doing it. At least for the last year, we were doing a Saturday Sunday live stream called Ghost Stories with my friend Jose, Suresh Menon, and Cyril. So yeah. Unlike other people, I like headphones. I love the fact that I can hear you very clearly, and you're not doing like, sorry. क्या बोला? I like this. I like the feeling of just really clear sound. तो मैं headphones पे कर conversations.
And how do you switch from being this podcaster, this radio jockey, this VJ to an actor? Does it really need that transformation, or does it come to you like this?
No, it's a very difficult transformation, and there are very few people who've been lucky enough to move from host to acting. Or oscillating between the two. It's not an easy job. They're two completely different jobs with completely different skill sets. And I've been lucky enough to get work in both the fields.
क्या ज़्यादा आसान होगा आपके लिए to interview Naseeruddin Shah or to share screen space with him, work right alongside him?
I mean, at this stage, 100% to interview Naseeruddin Shah is something I could do in my sleep. Only because I have done a lot of hosting, and whatever you've done a lot of, you obviously usually better at. Acting with Naseeruddin Shah would be a pleasure, but of course, as an actor, there's so much to learn. It's a field where you can spend the next 50 years and still be like saying that I don't know anything about. And I think that definitely acting would be tougher. 100%.
Yeah. And what are the key lessons that you have learned from this project, from the actor, from the legend?
Well, from him, from Raghuveer Yadav, there are a lot of really talented people. I mean, if you look at this cast, it's quite crazy. Whether you've got Soha or Soha Ali Khan or Lara Datta or Raghuveer Yadav, great people, really nice people. But what I think is that there's nothing like hard work, repetition, and experience, man. And Naseer Saab is also someone whose theater I watch a lot. I was really happy when I got complimented for this film I did Kadak by him, and he really loved it, and he loved the way it had turned out. What I learned is I think that with time, just the fact that he'll go over the lines over and over, which is one repetition. You can't. There's something that happens if you do something over and over and over, where your brain just opens up and you just become loose and fluid. He puts a lot of work into details, man. And in acting, I think the more you work you do, the better for you. And the biggest problem with hosts are that you don't need super intense focus. You need to actually be a little sprinkled. Because अगर कोई कुछ कर रहा है तो आप उसको पकड़ लेंगे या आप कुछ और कह देंगे, or while I'm talking, you're thinking of the next question. You know what I mean? You have to be a little bit different. With acting, he zones in beautifully. And I think if there's one thing to learn from the masters, it's the power of focus to immediately summon your talent at will. Like, boom, action, and I'm in, and nothing else is happening in my life. I find that very difficult. Very
And of
difficult.
course, I mean, both set of skills. I mean, even
Yeah,
as a
it's
host,
actually
as well as
completely
an
different
individual.
art forms. Only in India
Yeah,
do they ask
yeah,
actors to also host shows and stuff like
yeah,
that.
yeah,
Abroad, I mean, it's usually completely different art forms. You don't
yeah.
see Jimmy Fallon suddenly doing a movie, you know, or if he is, he's just playing a small part
But
of himself.
listening anyway is an integral part of both the jobs, right? I mean, as a host, you got to listen to what the other person is saying, sense the energy. As an actor, also you have to be in sync. For that to happen, you have to listen first and then react.
I mean, there are
But
similarities, of
does
course.
listening therefore vary in these two different jobs?
Absolutely, absolutely,
Yeah,
bro. When I'm listening to you as a host right now, I'm also thinking of what I'm going to ask you next. And then I'm also thinking of what you've just said to me. Can I pick up something from there? Sometimes I'm also thinking that how do I now make this more interesting? If it's, you're also gauging it. Is it going boring? Is it going nice? With acting, it's, you've got a line. You can't just improvise and do whatever you want to. As a host, you can take the show anyway. Right now, you can ask me what are your views on skiing, and I'll be like, okay, I don't think, and we can go anywhere with that. Acting
absolutely.
is a world where you've got a structure, you've got a script, and then you are trying to ask, the only question is that what would this really feel like if it was actually happening in reality. तो मतलब अलग है, मुझे तो
Hmm.
बिल्कुल अलग आर्ट फॉर्म्स लगते हैं.
Right at the start of the interview, you said that you've been lucky that you've been getting offers both as a host as well as an actor. But tell me, what has worked in your favor apart from the comedy element that you're known for?
Yeah,
Apart from that, what has worked in your favor?
I think that I'm malleable, uh, and that has come primarily from years of doing a lot of work with MTV and a lot of survival skills. So I was part of hosting for many years. I was part of doing some form of theater and acting for many years. What has helped me survive is the fact that I have done a lot of things, and I have been surviving in them for many years. And I think that the most important thing is that you have to adapt, and in some way or the other, as an artist, it's important to stay relevant to your
Mhm,
medium.
mhm, mhm.
And those are the things I've tried to do without changing what I want. So I say no to a lot of things that I don't want to be part of.
Yeah, yeah.
And then the
In that
little,
case, Cyrus, sorry, I mean, in that case, how do you stay relevant?
well, in that, because you choose what you like, and in that you get to sort of, so you say, I don't want to do reality TV. Okay, so that's a huge chunk of your life out. I don't want to host a dance show. Chalo, I don't want to do that. I want to do quirky comedy, I want to do drama, and I want to host nature documentaries. You've decided this. Now in that genre, whatever you get offered, you do, and you choose. Because you as an artist also, it's very important, whoever you are, to do some jobs because you have to, and try to make them better, and also to do things you're passionate about and interested in. Like, for example, I just finished shooting for 40 days for Mind the Malhotras, and then after that, uh, everyone else said, let's rest, you should rest and relax. But there was a show on Discovery called The Lost Essence of India. I said, okay, I want to actually rather travel all over India and go to places I otherwise, no chance I'll be going alone. So you choose. And if you're very lucky, you have a choice. And if you don't have a choice, then you do whatever you're offered till you get a choice, according to me.
Cyrus,
So
in that case, is there a conscious decision of sorts on your part that, okay, here I am, I'm known for certain things, and I'm fabulous at certain things. But apart from comedy element, when you have me on board, it has to go beyond comedy.
I don't have that. See, the thing is, first of all, a lot of comedians, and like, for example, I'd love to do a serial killer role. I'd love to be part of a murder mystery.
Mm,
I'd love to. I mean, we did a film called Kadak a few years ago, I think 1.5 years ago, which was a really dark, twisted comedy.
mm,
And that was incredible fun for me.
mm,
But here's the thing, I don't have any great demand to do, because ये जो एक भी genre है ना, इतना
mm,
vast है, bro. Like, what am I doing? I'm doing dramedies and comedies, which are like sort of family dramas. Usme you can explore things so much that you can go absolutely crazy, you know.
mhm, mhm.
So I don't have a window where this is what it should be like and all that. I'll go with it.
Yeah, it's all.
Yeah. So I was saying that, bro, I can sit here and explore just comedy for the rest of my life and still not even touch 20% of it. You know, like for the last few shows that I have done or been part of, it's not even comedy. It's like more like a dramedy, and it's got sprinkles of a little bit of comedic moments. as opposed to, say, for 10 years straight in MTV, I was doing only out and out spoofs, right? So you can explore life. It's just like life. In a day, you'll laugh a little bit, then you'll be miserable, then you'll have some other drama, then you'll smile. I like that. But I've never felt the stress that some people feel that, oh, I got to do something different. I got to reinvent the wheel. I have not even invented one wheel. So, you know.
Thanks to all these stand-up comedy stints and acts and the way comedy is being seen and consumed by the audience, now they know that. Now the audience also knows that comedy is a serious business. You knew it probably 20 years back. Now the audience also knows this. So how do you see changes, evolution of sorts on that front?
Well, it's a terrible time for comedy, actually, in terms of the fact that most people are so censored. Most people, everybody's got with the advent of everybody having an opinion and zero accountability, the level of hate and drama that people like comedians have to deal with is just unbelievable. I mean, these are one bunch of people you should just leave alone and let them do what they want to. While I say that, social commentary is something that is rising a lot in comedy. The thinking man's comedian and the thinking man's actor is going to be the future. The guy who's always mimicking stuff and making faces is hilarious, and you'll always love that person. But it's not the only way. Like in India, too long, man. I mean, for just too damn long, the comedian was just a comedian slipping on a banana peel, being dumb. Now there's a lot more, and a lot of that has come from stand-up. A lot of that has come from satire. But quite frankly, that was also existent when Jaspal Bhatti was making his shows.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
It's more on the individual and the level of how far people want to go with their comedy and how well they present it and hide it.
Terrible times for comedians, but good times for actors. Do you believe that?
I never said the word terrible. I mean, what I meant was it's not the most conducive time because everybody's got an opinion on everything and everybody's got an outcry. But it's a very good time for comedians. Okay. And quite frankly, not a single comedian can grumble, because at the end of the day, now more than ever, you don't have to worry about anything. You can have a career off your laptop and be doing podcasts and be doing live shows, and you don't need to be hired by anybody. You can run your own business. For actors, OTT has been unbelievable. They really owe a lot to the medium, because the medium of OTT. Because think about it, OTT has taken talent from everywhere, from theater, from TV, from film, and sort of, I'm not even talking about actors, I'm talking about technicians also. And now everyone's doing and creating and getting roles that otherwise would be very difficult to get.
Absolutely. Generally, I put this question to actors: what exactly happens when the director says action? What happens in your case when you're about to say perform as a presenter, as opposed to when you're about to slip into a character and portray a character?
Yeah, I think if you're hosting a show or you're even in theater, you're in the wings, which I find a very scary place. Wings, जहाँ पे basically ये stage होता है और वो खोपचे होते हैं, वहाँ पे आप imagine कर रहे हैं वो हर एक चीज जो गलत हो सकती है. And then you take all that energy and you go and blast it on stage, right? And it always sort of helps you survive. With acting, actually, action is a very weird word, because action, when they say action, you feel like you should do something, whereas actually you should be doing nothing. You're always wondering what would it normally be like, right? For example, you and me are chatting, you're nodding softly, I'm also talking aram se. Suddenly, if someone said we're going to enact this scene and action, I'll be like, hey, how are you? And you'll be like,
high-pitched drama. Hello, yes.
Yeah. Somehow the question is, what would it really be like? And you feel you're doing less sometimes, and sometimes you feel you're doing too much. And that's the big dilemma there.
Let's get rid of the word. Which word you insist on?
Well, I heard
camera, lights?
I heard that Clint Eastwood on his film sets keeps a very, very quiet set. And then he calls the actors and lets them sit. And then he just says, whenever you're ready.
That's. Yeah, I heard that that happens with Ram Madhav. He said,
really?
never use the word action.
Fab. I've never gotten the opportunity of working with him, but I think that's a really good idea, because when you say, and action, you feel like kuch to bolna chahiye, and then your line is like, darwaza khol dijiye, घंटी बजी है,
आवाज आनी चाहिए,
और थोड़ी normal line है कि मतलब घंटी बज रही है, दरवाजा खोल दो रमेश, तो फिर you feel इसको भी मैं थोड़े नए तरीके में करता हूँ.
तोड़ दो दरवाजा, नया तोड़ दो.
रमेश, कोई दरवाजे पे क्या? Kholo.
Okay, Z5 is a platform. I mean, it goes to, I don't know, 186 countries, more than that. What is it like for an actor, for someone who has worked for so long, to be out there on a platform which goes to so many countries simultaneously?
Fab, yeah. It's fabulous, and I'm very happy with the fact that I'm part of quirky comedies and dramedies, because I really think that as a viewer now, I've always been a lover of murder and crime, but last couple of years, man, I've just gotten very tired physically of just watching so much of a sensory overload. And so I think the world really needs these quirky, beautiful, relatable comedies, and especially Shikharwati. Why? Because it's like the same reason why as a kid used to read comic books. It's a
Mm,
completely different world you're invited to. The
yeah.
characters feel different, the colors and the palette is very different, and the level of quirk is completely different. So it's like a break from your own life or yourself.
Cyrus, thank you so much for your time. Thanks. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much for bringing smiles on our faces. And
Thank you,
you've been
man.
doing that for quite some time. And
Thank
here's
you,
a new
brother.
one. All the best for this one.
Thank you so much, brother, and thank you for your time. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.